So Modern Warfare 3 just dropped a few days ago, and the campaign in it is so extremely disappointing. I decided that today I'm going to go back and play Black Ops 2 because that game has one of the best Call of Duty campaigns ever made. Also, while doing this, I said, to hell with it. Let's do every single achievement inside of such campaign because without torturing yourself once a day, are you even living? Anyways, the Black Ops 2 achievement list has 35 achievements on it. I did this all on the PC port on Steam because I don't own a PS3 to do it on PlayStation. So, Sony, if you guys if you want to send me one or something. The first objective is to play through the entire game on Hardened or Veteran difficulty. I did it on Hardened because I thought it would be easier since, well, it is. However, I wasn't aware that multiple achievements need to be done on Veteran. So, already, I extended my playtime needed for the game by a considerable amount. Or just the length of Modern Warfare 3's game. Oh yeah, also when I launched the game, it gave me an achievement for completing one challenge on a level. I have no clue why it did this, but I assume they are thanking me for still playing it in 2023. Black Ops 2 begins with a cutscene of Section and Harper raiding a big old building because they thought the infamous Raul Menendez was inside. Sadly, the only person there was the old testicle-looking Woods, who is now a vegetable. How the mighty have fallen. Oh my god! This basically sets up how the campaign is directed throughout the entire game. You switch between future and past missions with Woods telling you about Menendez back in his prime, and then in the present. Man, I miss when Call of Duty did cool things like that. We then begin the first mission of the game and see a man get cooked a little bit too much than suggested. You could say he was on fire. We then get one of the most fun introductions into a Call of Duty game with Savimbi and all of his soldiers just running into a field in all-out bloody warfare. You essentially just kill the locals who, most of them, don't even have guns. So it truly is an American moment. That's what I'm saying. Then you are tasked with destroying some tanks, gunners, and then more tanks. After that, the enemy then tries to run away, but there is no jurisdiction out here, so we take them down even then. God, I love war crimes. After the bloodshed, we then take a heli out of the Forsaken Lands and end up in a very nice tropical area with water. Something the people before need Mr. Beast to bring them. Anyways, we jumped out of this boat because we thought the crate on it supposedly has what we are after. So we fought the civilians on the boat and then used some turrets to fend off the incoming attackers. Once it was quiet and peaceful, we then opened the crate up and found that it was entirely full of just people. And Frank Woods was popped into the corner, low-key looking like he was shining with that main character energy. Somehow he wasn't dead and everyone else was. So we decided, hey, we're gonna save our homie because he is our homie. Sadly, a chopper showed up right after and we had to take it down with a conveniently placed rocket launcher right next to us. I kid you not, that was the world's worst rocket launcher ever invented. I don't care if you can control it, because the thing took like 5 hits on the helicopter before it finally decided, oh hey, I'm supposed to blow up. Anyways, we got it after many ammo refills. Wait, who's driving the boat? Yeah, so the boat crashed and then we had to swim to shore while Frank's nasty ass was just placed atop of us. Then the boys just sort of stealthed around the area for a while, trying not to be spotted. I don't know if the soldiers have eyes or not, but I feel like it would be pretty obvious to spot 2 grown men and a shirtless guy rolling around in the grass. But what do I know about war? Eventually, we reached the radio tower we have been after and walk up on Raul himself before his life got ruined by us, in fact. He pulled a sneaky one on me and gets a bullet to the eye for trying that. Now, obviously, shooting the leader of a terrorist organization and not getting a confirmed kill does indeed lead you to being chased down by all of its forces. So next, we ran for the hills, down a hill in fact, until getting halted by a giant attack helicopter who we thought was the enemy's. Thankfully, it was somehow ours and saved the day. Also, we forgot one guy and Woods dropped his ass. I don't know where that was the whole time, but okay. The mission then ended and I received 2 achievements for both beating the mission and completing a level with a customized loadout. We had some more lore between Frank Testicle Woods and David Mason before we then went into the first future mission. This mission you could tell is futuristic because we used rock climbing technology, wingsuits, and fancy guns that make the old ones look like the pretty girl in high school who fell off at 30. There was a ton of enemies on this mission, so I hacked this cool little turret system and proceeded to pulverize everything in sight. I went so crazy, in fact, that if a nun walked into the fight right here, she would have also died. After that, we then blew up the door to get into the real base. Inside, there was more enemies. Yes, I know, a shocker. We also found this funny scientist guy who was just placed inside of a dog cage for humans. Kind of a weird fetish, but by all means, you go, queen. He then was explaining to us the Ceruleum chip or something Menendez has been making that can apparently hack anything in the world. Don't quote me on whatever this is, I could have just made it all up. But the bullet that went through this guy was definitely real. After taking out a few more enemies, we walked like 2 rooms down this hallway and apparently our entire military operation was just already set up there chilling. But I got another achievement after that mission ended. Next mission was super long and had a ton of fighting in the desert with horses and shit. Anyways, we aren't playing Red Dead Redemption 2, so the ending of it had us interrogate some Russian guy that helped put the numbers into Mason's head. Also, the voice actor for Mason is the blue avatar guy himself. Low-key kind of funny to think about that. So you're supposed to resist shooting him, and I did that, but Woods does it anyway, and I thought that was funny. Sadly, everyone else in the room didn't, and then knocked us out and threw us in the middle of the desert to die. However, we got saved by some dude, so it was chill. I then got another achievement after that ended. We were then forced to do a Strike Force mission, and I really wish I paid more attention to these because they are super important if you want to get all the endings for the game and not have to replay it all over and over. I'll let you take a guess at what I did in the future. But before all of that, we had to do the first one as a sort of tutorial, and on high difficulties, these are actually super hard. In fact, they gave me more trouble in terms of dying over and over than pretty much any other mission in the normal campaign. All you have to do is defend objectives from being destroyed, which sounds simple and it really is. So after barely making it out alive of that, I got the achievement for finishing that specific Strike Force level. Next, we had a flashback mission to good old Rawl's villain origin story day. A bunch of people come in and pretty much just kidnap him and his sister apparently. Now I don't know about you, but I'm not sure if I would be so comfortable with my sister in the way Raul is. I don't know, maybe it's different in other countries, but he was a tad bit Alabama with her if you know what I mean. So yeah, Raul was very mad that he's been blue-balled, and we had a neat little rage fest with a brother where we just ran around killing everything, and apparently he is invincible to bullets also. So I guess he has plot armor like everyone else in this game. His little tantrum ends, however, when a grenade is thrown into the room his sister is currently in. You guess what happens next. We then swap to play as Woods and the good guy's point of view. The good guys do exactly the same thing as Menendez just did, except we don't have bulletproof skin, so it took a little bit longer to exterminate everyone around us. But we, in same succession, end up in the infamous hallway and see that Woods himself threw the grenade. But Mason hit it out of his hand a tad bit, messing up the throw and maybe making it fall into the room. So basically just a lot of family drama, and I got the mission's achievement after. Next, there was a futuristic mission again, and we are here because Menendez is also. So after a lot of waiting around in deep water of the streets in New York, we end up rappelling onto this building's roof in classic COD style. Then the rest of the mission has us just straight up eavesdrop on Menendez and figure out all of his secrets. He never confirmed anything about his sister though, so maybe he wasn't as weird as we all thought. Then again, his world domination is centered around her death, but like bro, she wasn't even all that, I promise. She didn't even have a voice actor. Anyways, the eavesdropping ended, and Harper, who was actually the dude from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, explains to us what these YouTuber studios were used for in the olden days. How times have changed. Then we find out Menendez knew we were there the whole time and are yet again hunted down for our lives. Thankfully, a car pulls up and we begin to drive away while crashing and smashing into everything like a girl in college. After driving all the way through the city, we then reached the end point and a Chinese man was there waiting for us. Now I love Panda Express and I let him know, so we are best friends now. And the mission ended with another achievement. Back to the future now, we are infiltrating this super expensive resort or something. While there, everything also goes to hell like usual, and I'm starting to think it's our presence that causes these horrible things to happen. Anyways, we were after this girl named Chloe because she was smart, I guess. Sadly, I died a lot and didn't make it to save her in time, and the evil man got away with her. It wasn't my fault, I swear. And look, another achievement. The next mission is one of the most impactfully emotional missions of all time in Call of Duty. Mason and Woods are after Noriega, who is the kind of like second hand to Menendez or something. I don't know, he just works for him. So you pretty much just get to fight a ton of enemies until reaching him inside of a nice little motel room. Now he was in here with a bunch of men, so I don't know what was going on, and I don't want to know. But the dirty business achievement popped right after, so I think we can now confirm what was happening. Villainous activities, I swear. Next we have to escort this idiot through an entire city war zone, and that's just great. I died a lot because, well, it was a war zone, and Mason definitely doesn't have plot armor, if you know what I mean. Eventually we ended up in this clinic area, and we are confronted with a gunship that tries to take us out. But my friend, don't worry, the amazing parkour skills of a white man took me out for you. On a side note, this jump in this game is the hardest part about it. But I did it after a few tries, and that is the end of the mission, at least in terms of us playing. We then got numerous cutscenes until we got confronted with a man who has a hood on. Apparently this was Menendez, so I shot him multiple times in the guts to make him suffer, and got an achievement. It was indeed not Raul himself, and it was Mason. So rest in peace, maybe. And then Menendez showed up and proceeded to torture us, Hudson, and David, who was Alex Mason's son that we play as in the future missions. And yeah, that was probably the most lore exposing mission of all time, but we got another achievement and the show moves on. Next mission has us play as Farid, who is undercover at Menendez ranks. So we have to basically just kill a ton of people until reaching a very critical choice in the game. Shoot Harper or shoot Menendez. Now nothing comes before the mission, so I dropped Harper's ass. He's got Guardians of the Galaxy to film anyway. The rest of the mission has us play as David again, and you end up back in the ship at the end and find Menendez just chilling there. Definitely not suspicious at all. Man, the good guys really are just idiots. Like, why would you not suspect anything but we got an achievement again. The next mission, we are on the big boy ship and try to interrogate Menendez. Sadly, he somehow got out of his restraints and then knocked us out. The objective now is to find out what the hell is going on. And before we can do that, we swap over to play as Menendez and take Briggs captive, who is the leader behind all of these operations. And one of our own named Salazar betrays the good guys and takes out his fellow soldiers. Also, Farid got completely destroyed and it gave us an achievement for his death. Rest in peace, Bozo. Playing as David again, we tried to go after Menendez's jet, but it got away basically immediately. So the only thing left is to just escape ourselves. You have to fight a ton of enemies in the carrier, but once getting through all of them and reaching the exfil, the mission ends and another achievement is gotten. We are at the end of the game now. Next mission, we had to escort the president's transport vehicles, so America doesn't actually end within all these crazy war times. Once that was over, we got another achievement. And then we actually caught up to Menendez for the first time ever. And David did some fancy little combat moves to get him on the floor, and he even gave me the grace of choosing his fate. I killed him. And then we got quite a few achievements for beating the game and the hardest difficulty. And now that only took me like 5 hours to do all of that. And I have 38 hours of playtime on this game. So that should tell you how the cleanup for this list went. I missed a lot of story achievements, so I quickly went back and played all of these Strike Force missions I just straight up didn't do. And after finishing all of those up, it gave me 10,000 points on each mission in general, which was another achievement. I then tried to go back and do a few different endings or choices as best as I could. I began by choosing to shoot Menendez, which doesn't even shoot him obviously since he is at the end of the game no matter what, but it did give me an achievement. I then avoided running into this fire at the end of the car mission, which made it so Harper didn't get his haircut all ruined. And that was the only endings I could change because the other important ones need an entire new playthrough, since you have to do all Strike Force missions within or else it just doesn't work for some reason. Before that, however, I had to play through a lot of missions on Veteran, and I wish I just did that first because it isn't too much harder and would have saved me so much time. Like, I'm talking 5 hours at minimum. Most of these achievements needed you to basically just play through the entire game again, essentially. So I did all of that, and next we have to go do every single challenge in all the levels also. In Black Ops 2, there is 10 challenges on every single mission, including the strike team ones. So in total, there is 160 challenges in the game. Most are similar, like get headshot kills, melee kills, no dying on the mission, but a few times here and there it gave you super annoying ones, like kill enemies with car explosions. And then it would only place like 2 cars in the whole mission. Also, if you ever miss anything on the missions, you need to completely restart because there isn't yet a checkpoint feature in the franchise. I guess they didn't quite invent that yet. Anyways, after sort of going insane, I got all the challenge achievements and found all the intel, which is a collectible inside of the challenges, so it's sort of a hit 2 birds with 1 stone activity. I love hitting people with my car. And the last 2 achievements I needed was for getting the perfect or good ending to the confrontation between Menendez and Briggs back on the Odysseus mission. I totally just butchered that word. But anyways, this was extremely annoying because, as I said previously, you need to do all of these Strike Force missions and also choose to keep everyone alive until the ending of the game. And you can't rewind your story either, since I tried that and it simply just did not work for me. So I wasted 3 hours for nothing, and then just decided to redo the entire game all over again because that was a sure way to get this done. I was low-key so nervous and stressed it wouldn't work, but it thankfully did. And I got both those achievements unlocked at the very end of the mission. It's safe to say I was indeed quivering in my nutsack waiting for these to pop. So yeah, that is the perfect achievements list for Black Ops 2. I didn't include multiplayer within this video because on PC and just in general, the servers are either broken, dead, or hacked with people that can infiltrate your computer and steal stuff. Also, the zombies needs 4 people for most Easter eggs, and I don't have any friends to help me with it in a just manner. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys did enjoy this sort of different achievement video, then make sure to drop a like and comment to let me know.